welcome to the stream. How's it going? I hope you're doing well. Welcome. Was still getting ready when you came in. I hope you're doing well. I love you very much. Also, cutest emote. Heck yeah. How's my audio, by the way? Because right before the stream started, I noticed that my OBS settings were all out of whack. Because I think it's because I updated my computer recently. I was like, oh no, my audio settings. I hope everything sounds okay. I also ended up messing with some of the audio settings just on my computer last night because we were watching a movie and the audio was like really quiet, so I went into like the sound settings directly on my computer and like turned it up. Now I'm like worried, oh shoot, what if the music is too loud now? And bleh. I hope you're doing well, Mew. Welcome. We're gonna be playing some more Ebon Light today, which is exciting because that game is always great. And we're about to enter some possibly tense scene depending on how things go. But yeah. You know, I haven't actually looked at our character stats in a long time, so it might be a good idea to do that first thing when we open the game to see exactly kind of where she's at the moment. Might be interessante. What else? Sorry, my brain is not fully awake yet. Oh my gosh. It's so funny that at 3 p.m. not fully awake. I'm still just drinking my coffee, trying to get my... It's already 3. I won't be fully awake until like 4 or 5. Stay up till like 4 or 5 a.m. Like, I went to bed last night, I think at like 6 a.m. I want to say. 6:30. Ah, big yawn. Just as I said before, I'm like an IBM computer. Takes forever for me to wake up, and then I don't want to. It takes forever also for me to wind down. Biggest of beefs indeed. I'm thinking about fun facts. Well, not really fun fact, but I'm thinking about basically quitting my job at Screen Rant. Really thinking about it. I might do it within like the next week or so. To look for something else. Because what I have right now at the moment is not making me happy at all. Because they only pay like $15 per article. And it's like, it takes me hours to write an article, so only being paid $15 is insane. And it was fun at first, you know, seeing my articles out there, writing articles. It was a good time, but now I just feel depressed whenever I think about it. It's like pulling teeth. But, you know, we'll see. I don't actually know who I'm supposed to talk to, but I'll figure it out. Yeah, at the moment I have things sent out to some stuff to see what they have to say, so hoping for the best about Um, sleepy. Big sleepy. Oh my gosh, my audio is so weird right now. I feel like some of it is getting cut off, but I'm not sure. How's my audio? I don't know how it is. This looks weird to me. I don't know. Yeah, that's one of the main reasons why I hate having to update my computer is the fact that audio settings never stay. I don't know why. Like, out of everything that could change on a computer, why is it always the audio settings? Like, nothing else usually changes. It's just the audio settings. I don't know what it is about audio settings that never stays in an update. At least for me. I don't know what goes on there. Wonder if I have, like, some weird filters on or something. I do have filters on for... That's maybe why. But I think I've always had filters on, so I don't know. Biggest of beefs. We'll see how it goes throughout the stream, I guess. Also, like, I wanted to say Discord, but I meant to say OBS. OBS has, like, some, new stuff in the newest version, like, new things. Like, it says start virtual camera. I don't know what the heck that is. Is that for, like, the VTuber stuff? There's, like, new sources, new filters and stuff. Like, there's all these new things to OBS, and I'm like, I don't know what this all does. I want to try it, but I haven't gone around to, like, trying any of this stuff yet. Also, if y'all saw my OBS sources, y'all would be so mad. The way I have named all of them is terrible. I just go window capture, window capture, window capture. A million window captures. Insane. Oh, yesterday I played this really good Yume Nikki fan game. That finally had an ending and everything, and it had, like, animated cutscenes and everything, and the best part about it was it had kind of a unique vibe to it, despite, like, obviously being inspired by Yume Nikki and following kind of the Yume Nikki format of exploring and finding effects and stuff. It kind of had its own, you know, distinct flavor to it that I haven't really seen very often with these kinds of things. And it's Rolf! Hello! Hi, Rolf! Welcome to the stream. How's it going? I love ya. I hope you're doing well, Rolf. You're the bestest bee. Oh. How's it going? I was just talking about this new Yume Nikki fan game that I played last night, with Azure. I played the demo, like, a while back, but now it's finally at, like, 1.0 and actually has 2 endings and everything to it, and so I played it all the way through, and it was a good time. I would say it's one of the few Yume Nikki fan games that I feel, like, really stands out to me. I've played a ton of Yume Nikki fan games, and a lot of them just kind of feel like retreading the same ground, which is not a bad thing. Like, there's a reason why the original is so good. But every once in a while there comes a one that obviously is like just taking the core concept of exploring like this ever-changing world and collecting effects to progress further, and takes it to a different direction than normal. And I feel like that's what the game is called Reach. And I just played all the way through with Azure, and it was a good time. Basically, like, the idea in that is that the main characters are actually called leeches, that can take on like humanoid-esque forms, but they're not exactly humans, and they're able to like create like holes into this place called Limbo, which is like an alternate universe between worlds and stuff. And the idea is that they're like one of the few creatures who can like go into places like that and not like immediately die. So they're able to kind of explore all these like weird worlds and use it to like go from one area to another. But at the same time, there's also this group called the Committee who goes around like shooting leeches because they think leeches are like these monsters that should be purged from the world for some reason. But yeah. And so it had like its own lore, its own like interesting aspects to it that I felt kind of separated it from a lot of the other fan games. Like, it obviously was still very much inspired by Yume Nikki, but at the same time, like, it had its own vibes to it that was completely separate, and its own ideas that were completely separate, which I really enjoyed. It was also cool that, like, technically it wasn't a dream world. It was, like, reality. It just was, like, an alternate reality that you were exploring, basically, which was kind of interesting. Another thing is, I could tell that the game was highly influenced by Silent Hill. Just so much about the game reminded me of Silent Hill. I was like, Silent Hill? I mean, like, first off, the fact that, like, you go through, like, these weird giant holes to go into the alternate universe reminded me of Silent Hill 4. But then there was also a lot of, like, rusty imagery, and, like, there's the weird apartment complex with the weird creatures in it and stuff. And that, like, reminded me of Silent Hills, like, 1, 2, and 3. And I was just like, I bet the author was inspired by Silent Hill. But yeah, it was a good time. I finished it in one go, so it was probably about like 3 hours or so, I want to say. It was a fun time. I definitely want to play more Yume Nikki fan games, because usually every once in a while I just kind of go on a binge and see just kind of like what stuff's out there. Especially since earlier this year they did another Dream Diary jam on Itch.io, so there's probably a bunch of new stuff at the moment that I definitely want to check out. Because I love Yume Nikki-esque games. I love the strong focus on exploration and exploring kind of these surreal, weird worlds and collecting effects and stuff. I think it's all pretty cool. And it's also kind of cool to see how the genre has evolved, I guess, over the years, because looking at newer games now, it's very obvious that a lot of creators have learned from the mistakes of past games, including the original Yume Nikki, and learned how to make the map designs more interesting and fun to go through. Because Yume Nikki has a lot of either like giant big open spaces that you kind of just wander around and hope for the best for, or like maze rooms. And I feel like a lot of modern games are trying to make the worlds look a lot more interesting, a lot more lived in, a lot more detailed. Not as cut and dry as like now you enter this world and there's like weird items scattered about, but it's mostly just an open room. Which is pretty cool. It's cool to see how these things have changed. Which, speaking of that, one day I would want to play the Yume Nikki remake from Steam. I know that it has like mixed reviews for most people, but I don't know, like there are some issues with it, but I think there's enough to it that makes it like worthwhile. And it was also kind of nice to see something beloved like come back as like a remaster. And I especially, there's a secret ending you can get where you end up in the spaceship from the original game with Masada and everything, and I remember I kind of teared up at that moment when I saw that in the remake. And to me, like, that's the most important part. Like, yeah, there's some issues, but overall, I think the love was there. And it's pretty amazing that, you know, this freeware game that was made by one indie dev got popular enough to have like a studio actually make a whole remake for it and everything. I think that's pretty cool all on its own. Yeah, some things probably could have been done better. But overall, I think it's a really well done experience. And I also, you know, I actually like the ending to the remaster a lot more. I know a lot of people may have been upset by like the kind of retconning the ending of the original, but at the same time, like, I'm the type of person who prefers, like, more uplifting, positive endings. Because, you know, life is already, you know, pretty terrible in a lot of ways. I think it's a lot better to have media that, even if it explores dark topics, to have a more uplifting ending. Because it gives people hope, it, you know, help support people during their own tough times in life. And I think it's just overall a more impactful and nice message than just being like, oh, she died or something at the end. Because it's like, then what's the point? It just feels very, I don't know. Like, as somebody who, like, struggles with mental health and stuff, I feel, and the thing is, I don't think there's any problem with having stories necessarily that end terribly. I do want to put that out there, because just because I prefer happier endings doesn't mean that I'm gonna be like, you can't have these depressing endings or whatever, because in the end, like, we all respond to different things differently, and all forms of art, in my opinion, are worthwhile to an extent. And yeah, like, see, like, I have no problem with sad endings to stuff. Like, I prefer happy endings to things because I feel like it means a lot more, since we already kind of live in, you know, like a struggling world, to have like media that overall uplifts viewers, I think is a lot better. But I'm also not gonna be like, oh, because I think happy endings are better, you can't have sad endings. Because there's a lot of people out there who will be like, I don't like this type of thing, so therefore it shouldn't exist, and I'm gonna give these reasons why. And I hate that, because I'm like, you know, if just because a piece of art doesn't resonate with you or doesn't connect with you or like touches on something you don't like, doesn't mean that it won't resonate, connect, or be something important to somebody else. Yeah, the Hunger Games was too much even for me. The entire last book was just pure misery. Yeah, though I guess with that, like, it's understandable, considering kind of like the topics of what the whole series was covering. Like, it's like one of those things where, you know, ending it happily would kind of defeat like the purpose of the satire, I feel like, especially with the way the media treated the book series and the movies that came out as well. Like, completely ignoring the actual meaning behind the stories. But so I wonder if it's like it could be a mixture of both. It made the book better, but it definitely wasn't fun to read. Yeah. No, that makes sense. It's like there's a lot of like art forms or like pieces of art and things like that where it's like, in terms of following the major themes and like the ideas that this art is trying to express, like, this is perfect. But in terms of my enjoyment out of this piece of art, it is not that great. Which is also, I say this, it's like, it's important to sort of know what you're getting into when you walk into something. Because I feel like if you expect one thing out of something and get something completely different, that's a lot of times what leads to you going like, oh, I don't like this piece of art or whatever. But I feel like if you walk into it knowing, like, you know it's a horror, or you know it's gonna be depressing, or you know it's gonna be more of an uplifting story, then it's easier to enjoy it because you kind of know what the purpose of it is. In the foreword, she says the third book especially is based on war stories from her granddad. Yeah, that makes sense. It makes a lot of sense. But yeah. So, you know, in my opinion, like, stuff like that is important. It's important to, you know, have like all these different kinds of art and to express all these different kinds of things. But yeah, whether you get enjoyment is an entirely separate thing. And I feel like people conflate the two, you know? Where people will be like, I don't enjoy this kind of art, therefore it's bad. And it's like, well, not all art is meant to be something like fun and enjoyable. Yeah. Yeah, sometimes it's the sad stuff that, you know, really resonates with people. It may not be the most enjoyable, but it definitely resonates. Yeah. I mean, it is good to critique things. I'm not saying it's not good to critique things. I think it's important to critique, but I feel like a lot of people think that just because they personally don't like something, it obviously means that it's bad and nobody should like it and nobody should enjoy it. And it's like, well, that's not really a good critique. Yeah, no, I get that, Rolf. I totally get that. Yeah. And that does tend to sour things. It's like, oh, I wish more stuff did not have this or that. Yeah. And I think that's a good critique with things. And it's also, it's stuff like that that makes me wish that more stuff had tags on it, you know, kind of like how on AO3, like one of the big reasons why I basically only read fan fiction for the most part now is one, because of the more varied and types of like content that's there and like inclusivity and whatnot, but also because AO3 and whatnot have a tag system that lets you know like this work has this work has that, and I can just avoid anything that has certain tags in it that I don't want to see. And I kind of wish that all media had stuff like that, where you could just go, oh, this thing has these tags, and I'm not into that. And like now there's websites, you know, like does the dog die and whatnot, that kind of lets you know these things. But it would be cool if like you could just pick up like you could go to like Netflix and scroll down and like see like, oh, this has this and that in it, and you could avoid it. But sadly we're not there. Yeah, that makes sense, Rolf. That does make sense. Yeah, it does kind of spoiler things. Maybe if there was like spoiler tags, like it's initially hidden, but if you really want to see, you can check, that sort of thing. Like if you're with too much tagging, you get a funnel effect where you end up only watching the same things you're already into. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense, because then you're not really trying new things. So yeah, I guess the like spoiler tag system would be kind of good, where it's like you can check if you really need to check for certain things, but otherwise sometimes it's maybe good to go in blind. But that's the thing with these kinds of things, it's never really, you never really know how to balance everything. Yeah, it's very true, Rolf. Very true. Yeah, because people will point out, like, oh, you know, I have these triggers with these certain things, and that is totally valid, I think, to not want to see things with certain things in it. But also at the same time, like, you know, a certain thing, like a certain negative topic or whatnot, can be an important part of a narrative. It can add to a story or be something that the author needs to have in there, either to get a point across, to add to the overall narrative, to go with the themes, to deal with their own issues, things like that. And so in the end, you know, having a like tagger system would be good in those instances, because then, you know, you're still able to have these films that talk about these issues and deal with these issues and whatnot, but you also are making it so that people who can't handle it don't have to worry. Yeah, that's very true on how the topic is handled. It's very true. I guess, I mean, with things like art, it's always very difficult, because it's like, where do you draw the lines with things? But yeah, definitely, because there's definitely some things that take, you know, these terrible topics and whatnot and kind of don't do it justice in any capacity. So that's always a struggle as well. Yeah, I have a lot of thoughts on these things, and I feel like a lot of the time people are a bit too, like, on the extremes on how things should be done. Not a huge fan of torture. Yeah. I'm also not a huge fan of torture scenes. Neither is like my family. A lot of times if we're watching a show and there's a torture scene, we'll just like fast forward through it. But I also like understand in some stories why it would be there, or the necessity of it to show kind of how like cruel or whatever like the person is, or to really hammer home the stakes, things like that. Like I can understand it from that perspective, but sometimes I can tell that it's also maybe just what the writer was into. They just wanted to have that kind of scenes in there, and then that leads to the idea of like, who am I to say like what a person can have in their stuff, but that's what leads to the difficulties of, you know, critiquing art and talking about, yeah, just sometimes it goes too far. Yeah, I agree with that. I very much agree with that. But yeah, like for me, I really don't like anything that features like dogs getting mistreated and like things like that. That's why I specifically mentioned stuff like Does the Dog Die? Because I really don't like stuff like that. Like it really causes like an extreme reaction in me to see that kind of stuff. But at the same time, I understand that not everybody's gonna have that same reaction, and sometimes it's important to a story. And so I wouldn't say like, oh, movies and shows and stuff like that cannot have these kinds of scenes, this kind of content, because to me it's a little hypocritical, because there are also some things that probably like really affect other people that for me I can watch and be totally fine with. Yeah. I mean, I never really got into JoJo, so probably for the best. Yeah. Makes sense that it would be important for the start of a D&D campaign. Yeah, to know what things to have and what to avoid. Makes sense. But yeah. I think my biggest pet peeve though is like people trying to act like it's all really cut and dry. Like these things should obviously not be in there, or like this should not be in there. And it's like, to you, because of your experiences, you have a strong opinion about such and such. But not everybody's gonna have the same experiences, and there's gonna be things that I can't handle that you can, and vice versa. And it's a little like, just it doesn't point out the nuance of like how stories can tackle certain things and how pieces of art can tackle certain things. And the other way around too. I've seen arguments online, and people will usually go on one of two extremes. They'll either be like, everything has to be absolutely perfect, you can't have any of these because it's triggering to some people and thus it shouldn't be in there at all. And then you have the other people who are like, nah, you're just being a baby, books don't have triggers, so why should anything else have triggers? Like, you shouldn't censor stuff, so obviously everything should be in everything and you should just deal with it. And it's like, or we can find like a middle ground somewhere, right? Somewhere in the middle where we're still able to discuss topics and still have certain things in it and to express yourself, but also to make things more accessible to people as well. Yeah, it's very true, Rolf. People want it to be like clear, cut, and dry. Like, this is good and this is bad. This is one, this is the other. And it's like, nah, we live, life is more about shades of gray. Things are a lot more complicated than just being able to say whether something is completely one thing or the other. And that's why I always say that, you know, to some extent, everybody should be, you know, taught. Like, the thing about English classes in school is I feel a lot of times English teachers kind of fail their students a little bit, in the sense that it's supposed to be, you know, literature class. It's supposed to teach students how to properly analyze and critique literature. And I feel if people had more of those skills, we wouldn't see like these same issues, because you would see people, you know, actually like properly critiquing things and analyzing things and considering pieces of art, instead of just like throwing things willy-nilly. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I definitely can see that, Rolf. Yeah, because that's kind of what's been happening in basically all other media as well. As I said, I see tons of people like going like, oh, like this shouldn't be in this or this shouldn't be in that because it'll make people upset or whatever. And it's like, but at the same time, like, but then that leads so much that should be discussed, like just not being able to be discussed. And you know, then and it also leads to, then what's the point of art? Like, I feel like a big part of art is kind of catharsis and dealing with these things, and if you're taking that away, then what's left, kind of thing. Yeah, I definitely think it's a lot less cut, clear, and dry, as a lot of people put it. And I do fully believe that more people should be taught on how to properly analyze and critique art, instead of just going like, it talks about this dark topic, so it's bad. Like, okay. Or, I didn't like this thing, so it's bad. Or, this art didn't resonate with me, so it's bad. And it's like, maybe it just wasn't for you. Or maybe it just touched on something that for you personally is, you know, a trip up. But that doesn't mean that it shouldn't exist, or that it doesn't, you know, resonate or help other people necessarily. Which is the importance of, you know, properly critiquing a piece of art, instead of just being like, blah, blah, blah. But yeah. Anyways, I was like rambling on about that for ages. Yeah, because a lot of people give up the moment it appears, instead of giving it a chance. Because there has been times in stories where I got to something and I immediately was like, oh no, it's not gonna work well. But then they actually do end up making it work, and like discussing these topics in like a good way. And then I'm like, I'm glad I didn't just, you know, throw in the towel. Or like, for example, I bring this up most times that I talk about things about triggers and like whatnot in shows. And one thing that happened was when I played Fire Emblem Three Houses for the first time. When the character's Felix basically calls this other character that I really liked to do, the guy who says he ate the weeds. Where I feel like I should have this image. Is it here? Yeah, he ate the weeds. There he is. To do himself. But at one point, he, like, Felix, like, apparently for a time would like call to do like a dog or things like that. And it was in reference to the fact that Dedue would constantly like follow and obey whatever Dimitri said, you know? So he was like referring to that aspect. But I immediately was like, I hate Felix because he said that. And it was like a visceral reaction where I was like, I hate it. And I even mentioned, I remember when I was playing at the start and talking with everybody else about how I felt about the characters, I was like, and I hate Felix because of all that stuff. And everyone was actually a little shocked because they were like, oh, I expected you to like Felix as one of the characters, but instead you're like absolutely hating on him. And I'm like, yeah, I hate him and everything. But then it wasn't until later, like, where it finally like clicked, like, oh, he was saying that because he follows like Dimitri around and everything. And it was actually because Zach helped me like realize it. He was like, oh, he's just saying that because of this. And I'm like, oh. And I was like, why did I get like so heated about it? Like, why did I just jump to that, you know? And then I realized it was because when I was in high school, I was, because I'm like short and kind of small and I shake a lot because of my familial tremors. One of my quote-unquote friends that I had would often call me like a chihuahua because of that. And I think it was like that residual like experience from that made me just hate the idea of someone being called a dog in any capacity. And I didn't even realize I had like this soft spot until that moment. Yeah. And so now I do like Felix a lot. He's one of my favorite characters. I do love him a lot, but it's moments like that make me realize, like, if we just go by things that we like or dislike in media, it's not gonna be very you know, genuinely critical of art, like pieces of art and whatnot, because it is going to be influenced by specifically your experiences, and that is not going to be very impartial. And in some ways, like, that's important too, you know, that to put in, like, because of my experiences, this is how I feel about this and that. And I think that's an important, you know, part of a full critique of something, but it should only be a part of it rather than, like, the main aspect to it of like, oh, obviously this thing is bad because I felt this way because of this. It should only be like a part of it, and, you know, a good jumping off point to be like, why do I feel this way about this? What does it mean about the work as a whole, and things like that. There are some characters that will make me lose any sympathy for them, and then redemption arcs fall flat for me. Yeah, and again, like, it's gonna be different for different people, because, again, we all kind of have different boundaries. We all have things that we are willing to stand about certain things compared to other things. Like, I know like, some people absolutely, like, lying is, like, a big thing for them. Like, if a person lies to me, that's it, you know? But I kind of am okay with lying in certain aspects. Like, I'm a pretty honest person, but, like, if someone lies to me, depending on the circumstance, I'm okay. I think this happened during your turn to die. Yeah, I feel like I remember that too, where there was something in the story where I didn't like a character because of something, and then, but then I realized why. It just goes to show none of us, you know, even if we know, like, on a rational level that we should, you know, think more critically about these things, it can be pretty hard to do when something hits, you know, a soft spot. Yeah. Yeah, like, I guess what I'm saying is, like, I don't mind white lies. Like, if someone lies, to my benefit, you know? Like, I will be, like, I won't, like, that's not a hard, like, thing for me to deal with, if that makes sense. Because to me, it's the fact that, oh, you still care, you're still loyal, like, you're just, this was just for my benefit, and gets caught in a lie and then doubles down. Yeah, that is a pretty, like, oof moment. It's like, oh, if you get caught, you might as well fess up. But yeah, I would say, that's not a big line for me. Also, in stories. Oh! Hello! Hi, Adam! Welcome to the stream! Hi, Raiders! Welcome! Thank you so much, Adam, for the raid! Hello! Rolf and I are just talking about all sorts of, like, stuff. About things that are hard lines and whatnot. Oh, that was my raid sound effect. It's from, Hanako-kun. Toilet-Bound Hanako-kun. That anime. It's specifically from that. It's I think it's the only, like, notification that I have that has sound to it. I think my other ones don't really have sound to it, which is funny. Or, no, they have, like, the generic sound. This one is, like, the only one that doesn't have the generic sound to it, which is funny. I should shout out Adam. I hope you're doing well, Adam. But yeah, we were just talking about, like, kind of how, there needs to be more nuance when talking about what should be and shouldn't be in pieces of, like, art and whatnot. There we go. Oh, you were playing Metal Hellsinger, let's go! Heck yeah. Heck yeah, that's awesome. I hope you're enjoying it. Because I know you were super excited for that game, so I hope you're having a good time with it. What? You know what? Sure. There we go. They were last playing no game. It's so funny. It was headbanging. Let's go. I can shout out whoever I want, Rolf. But yeah. I'm glad you're enjoying it, Adam. I'm still, you know, highly anticipating Gotham Knights next month at the end of October. I hope it's good. I've been so excited for it. The game is getting harder but fun. Heck yeah. Get to headbang and enjoy the music. Heck yeah. Yeah. Music is one of the most important parts of any video game. Anya's Robin Harp. Yeah, let's go. I'm so happy. Like, oh my gosh. Just the idea of having multiple Robins, all of them interacting with each other, actually being the focus of the story. I'm like, I am so happy. I am so happy already. And that's why I'm just like, I'm really hoping. I'm like, please be good. Please be good. Please be good. I'm begging. I was telling Azure the other day that I've been wanting a game or something like this, like even if it wasn't a game, like a TV show or something like this for like literal years. Literal years. Like ever since I was a little kid, I was like, I wish we had more stuff that like didn't just focus on Batman, but also like other members of the Bat family, especially the Robins, and it just never happened. Oh, David F. Pilot 1990! Thank you for the follow! Hello, welcome. Does it also have Christopher Robin? Can you imagine if it was like, here we have Nightwing, we have Red Hood, we have Robin, we have Batgirl, and then we have Winnie the Pooh. He has joined the team with like a big like machine gun and everything. It would be like that one upcoming Winnie the Pooh horror film that's apparently happening or whatever. Who would have thought? But yeah, I'm definitely super excited for that game. I don't think I've been this excited for a game in a long time, so I'm really hoping it's good. This has been something I've wanted for ages, and now that I'm getting it, I'm like, oh! So, definitely, like, no matter how much that game costs, I'm buying it, like, right away. And I don't normally do that. Normally I'm like, oh, should I buy it? Should I not? Like, I'm really conflicted. But this game, there's not gonna be any conflict. I'm buying that game. I'm buying it right away. I'll be like, this game is mine now. Wahaha. But, oh, and to go off your earlier thing, Adam, music is very important in video games, especially games like Metal Hellsinger, of course, because a big focus is on the music. But honestly, in any game in general, like, I've talked about this before, but basically any video game really needs, I bet they cut Christopher Robin because oh my god. Oh, too real, Rolf, too real. Oh my god, crazy. But yeah, like in video games, I would honestly say that music means even more in video games than any other piece of art. Like, even more than it does in TV shows or movies. And it already is important in those pieces of art as well. But in video games especially, it's super important because you're gonna be spending hours upon hours just listening to the same tracks probably over and over again. So if those tracks aren't freaking good, it's gonna be a problem. Like, it's gonna be a huge issue. Which is why, like, a lot of video game soundtracks tend to be, like, really, really, really superb. And the ones that aren't good are usually, you know, well-known and well-ridiculed. Because unlike in TV shows and stuff, it's not like you're just gonna hear a song once. It's not like you're just gonna hear it for a couple minutes and it's over, you know? Or even less than that and it's over. No, in games, you're gonna hear the same song probably for hours. And so if it's not good, it's really gonna stand out as not being good. And that's why I say, like, music is more important than ever in video games. People who work and create the soundtracks for video games absolutely deserve more recognition, more love for the things that they do, because if it weren't for them, there would be so many games where we would all be like wanting to rip our hair out because of how awful it is. We'd be like, not this song again. That sort of thing. Which is why I also wrote several articles about music and video games. It's important stuff. But yeah. Anyways, are you ready, Rolf? Are you ready for some more of these shenanigans? More elvish Twilight shenanigans? Yeepers. Heck yeah.
Hello, hello.
Hello, Rolf. Welcome to the stream. How are you doing?
Pretty good. Been busy with work, which is good.
Heck yeah. Yeah, sometimes being busy is a good thing. Just make sure to take breaks when you can. And
oh yeah.
Make sure to stay hydrated and watch out for yourself as well.
Will do.
Heck yeah.
I've been very bored lately, so it's nice to have something to focus on.
Yeah, understandable. Yeah, like, I'm also the type of person that if I don't have things that I need to do for a long period of time, I'll start being like, what am I doing with my life?
Yeah. And this is my first real animation job, so I'm excited about it.
Heck yeah. Are you able to give any specifics?
I mean, the topic itself is not that exciting, but I just I'm doing it for my dad. Yes, he is working. Well, he works in agricultural policy for the EU. Very exciting. I know.
See. No, that is exciting.
But yeah, so the group that he works for is working on a new project, and so they needed an animation for it, an explainer specifically. Make it a bit more hip.
More hip with the kids.
Exactly.
Heck yeah.
So that's where I come in.
That's awesome, though.
Yeah, so it's nice that I'm working for my dad. Makes it a little bit easier.
Yeah.
As a first assignment, but it is still a real job because, you know, he has to present it to his clients. So
yeah.
It's not just something doing for fun.
Yeah. But it's awesome that you're able to do, you know, what you wanted to do and everything, though, too.
Exactly.
That's incredible. I'm really happy for you, Rolf, and I hope you'll only continue to grow after this. Yeah, it definitely is easier when you, go into a job and you know peeps.
Yeah. Makes communicating a lot easier as well.
Yeah. What were you gonna say before I cut you?
I already forgot.
No! I can't believe I've done this again.
No worries.
Oh, so, last time we escaped from the house with a bunch of harpies around us.
Yeah.
And then we decided to come up with what our next move would be, and we decided to go for the fracture in the forces as our thing, which is funny because I'm pretty sure that's the one I picked during my first playthrough too. So
whoops.
No, that's funny. It's like same brain, let's go. It just seemed like the most like logical one as well to me, so I was like, yeah. Also, we haven't looked at our stats in a while, so I'm thinking let's look here and see what we have. So we have
a lot of cunning.
Yeah, we have apparently high cunning.
That's new.
And high daring as well. And high might.
We're not charming at all.
Yeah, we're not charming at all. But I would say these seem to be pretty good stats, in my opinion.
The hell is amity?
Amity? I think that's like, how how should I put it?
How
It's
likable you are?
yeah, well, that's more charm. I think Amity is more just like how just overall like nice you are.
Friendly relations.
Yeah, it's like how friendly you are versus
So
how
I know the
kind.
word amicable, so that
Yeah.
makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah. Also, our clothes.
Yeah. Just walk
There's
around in nightgown the entire time.
yeah.
See if anyone mentions it.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think if you, I want to. I think you can just walk around in nightgown.
Probably not smart.
Just go up to the forces like, ayo.
I just woke up and I'm gonna change the world.
Yeah. But yeah, at one point we'll be able to buy some clothes, so there'll be that as well. Oh, and look at all our stuff we
Still have the
have.
kitchen knife.
Yeah.
I have 3 weapons now.
Yeah. It's great. Yeah, I would say we probably have some good stats right now.
Time to rush into the forest and start farming harpies.
Heck yeah, get that
that
experience up. Yeah. The next morning came without any abrupt beginnings. There were no guards rushing through the halls, nor any harpies scratching at the walls. Oh, that rhymed. Dule told me to expect Vidane somewhere before noon. Sometime before noon. Not somewhere before noon. That he would be over as soon as he was finished with his scouting duties. He'd been working the night prior. Any attempt to enjoy the brief reprieve was fruitless. I found myself pacing the halls of Dulier's home, until eventually coming to where I always seemed to, the dining hall. Oh,
Right into this voice.
Yeah. I do declare, ooh. Skylar wandered in just as I had her at the other end of the room.
The warm-up is longer than the sentence itself.
So we could say,
say?
no need to... well, she just said, oh. And she had just wandered in just like we had. So we could say, no need to flee, say nothing, oh, sorry.
No need to flee is fun.
Heck yeah.
Not here to kill you today. Maybe tomorrow.
No need to run, Skylar. I'm not on a Kunthantal-induced rampage, never fear. I do declare, haha, I think if you were, I'd already be dead. You never know. I may spare you. A frustrated sigh escaped her. I do declare, ha. So I hear you're enlisting Vidane and more interestingly, Calipoa. I nodded. You know, I sighed. What? Just because he's eager to treat you like a lost puppy, it doesn't mean you have to act like one. He's not going to be able to save you. So we could say, Skylar, what is your problem? I don't expect him to. He seems very puppy-like to me.
It's the most boring one, but I think the middle one fits us the best.
Yeah. I don't
What
expect
is
him.
your problem? What's the deal with Skylar?
Yeah, what's the deal with Skylar? Luckily, I'm not counting on Vidane to save me. Then Dulier? No, more likely him, yes, nobody.
Nobody.
Heck yeah.
You're a strong, independent human. You can
I
take
don't
care
know
of
why I'm
yourself.
saving every time. I never do this. Nobody. I'm not holding out for anyone to save me, Skylar. Then what are you doing to save yourself? Didn't you hear
I
it?
got this knife.
Vidane is coming over to start things with Commander Calipoa. We're going to convince the division and the forces to aid me. Skylar rolls her eyes. Still hoping that Vidane, Kalipoa, and the elusive Fracture have the answers that you need. I have faith in other people. What can I say? She scoffed. Let me know how that works out for you.
Let's
Well,
go convince these people with our zero charm.
yeah. Well, I guess you won't have to. I'm sure the news will get around.
Alenka?
You name him and he comes.
Excuse me. You were expecting me, weren't you, Alenka?
Oh my gosh. The Dane. He kills me.
Oh, not yet.
You must be exhausted. I was, yes. Skylar was just being foreboding as usual.
Last one.
The last one?
Yeah.
I was just passing the time with Skylar here. She was telling me all about my doomed future. It was fun.
She...
Vidane sighed as he shot Skylar an exasperated look. What? Why is nobody just saying what everybody is thinking?
Because... Look, Skylar, there's no time. Alenka and I have a lot to go over. I would like to get as much alone time with her as I can.
Fine, I'll leave you two to it. Her tone was skeptical in a way Vidane seemed to find irritating. She left from the same door she entered.
You want Kalipoa to introduce you... Wait. Oh, that's a statement, not a question.
Yeah.
You want Kalipoa to introduce you to Commander Lycan.
Who?
Commander Lycan. The unofficial leader of the division that's grown in the forces.
Vidane! You can't just say things and expect, say it as if it's something we should just know. We just got here.
You want this. I don't know what this is.
Yeah, what the frick?
Don't tell me what I want. I'll be plain.
Just tell me what you want, what you really, really want. Please do.
I'll tell you what you want, what you really want. Lycan is a suspicious man who has made biding time an art form. This division has been in the making since long before I was born. He's not going to be convinced to make any dramatic movements now unless you give him something very convincing.
And how?
Well, therein lies the rub. I don't know what they were thinking when they suggested this. Maybe it really is the only option.
The other options weren't great either. Great, you're not on board. We can do it.
Let's go, we can do it. It's a can-do attitude.
We can do it. He looked surprised. Then he cracked a smile and shook his head.
The one in need is also the voice of inspiration.
Heck yeah.
I'm embarrassed. Getting Callie to help shouldn't be too hard. She's way into you. I can't promise anything when it comes to her, but...
She should have been a romance option!
Yes, let's sign a petition.
Heck yeah.
I think I'll be able to convince her.
How are you going to manage that? He hesitated and avoided meeting my gaze. Tell me, maybe I should just follow your lead? What? Don't do that.
Let's do the last one.
Dane, what is it?
I'm sorry.
He really is like a dog.
You dog. What in the...
It's like, Vidane, bad boy. Bad boy. And he's like, ooh. He shook his head.
Would that I could say with full confidence that Kali can be convinced, but you may have to show a little more cleavage. Then she'll definitely be in.
Heck yeah.
She might decide, she might think, we risk too much if we help you. As though it isn't our responsibility to atone for what has been done to you. Such a simp.
He really is. So we can say I understand, or what do we do about that?
Yeah, last one, I think. Keep it problem solve.
How do we prevent her from thinking that?
I'm not sure. She's not without a heart. Sympathy might do us some good, but Alenka, I'm going to do everything I can to make her do all she can in kind. And further, assuming we get Kalipwa's aid, we then have Lycan to convince.
Oh wait, that's you.
Lycan. I don't know what to expect other than it'll be hard. We can't rely on childhood blackmail to begin. Childhood blackmail.
Great.
Like, okay.
Yeah, it's like, okay, whatever you say.
I don't really know what will sway him. I think he and Kali are after the same thing, but I've only ever seen him a handful of times.
He shifted uncomfortable.
I'm sorry, Alenka. I don't know how much I can help. I want to, though. I'll answer whatever questions I can, and I'll be here with you. I'll do whatever I can.
Aw, Vidane, it's okay. It's okay. We're a protagonist. We can do this.
Get some rest. I suspect we'll be up through the night. I'll be back with Callie later.
I nodded.
This guy is so waiting over his head.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Kalipua wasn't as easy to convince as we'd hoped. She said in no uncertain term that she wasn't willing to lose Gahalian lives, the good ones, just to save me. She agreed to bring the matter to Lycan and to help me as long as that line wasn't crossed. Vidane had likewise promised her that I'd do something to benefit the rebellion. This not something I had agreed on or even been made aware of until after he said it. Oof.
Ouch. Big oopsie, Vidane.
Yeah, big oopsie.
There go your chances.
Yeah, there go your chances, even though...
Shot yourself in the foot there.
That was a bridge to cross later, assuming I managed to avoid execution. Sorry to collect you in such a rush, Alenka. Treasonous scheming, and it's inconvenient hours and all. Oh, how scandalous. It's alright, the faster the better. Where are we going?
I can't not pick the first one.
I laughed bitterly. Reason, you say, is that what we're doing? Yes. What will happen to us if we are heard?
Yeah. We are going to convince Commander Lycan to throw the weight of the fracture in with you.
Yes, Vidane, we know. Vidane sent me a wry smile.
It never arrived.
Lycan agreed to see you, though in his endearingly paranoid fashion, it has to be tonight.
For good reason. I took a look at the rotations, and this was the best time to meet with him.
My cousin, naive to the bitter end. He thinks we commanders do not have any control over the handling of rotations. The entirety of the docks seemed abandoned. It felt very much like a secret meeting, which I suppose was all too fitting. This was the secret Gahalian rebellion, after all. Of course, I wondered how secret it really was. This dissent seemed to be common knowledge. If what Vidane said about Lycan being slow to move was accurate, perhaps it would be better to call this doubt. The Gahalian doubtfuls. Occasionally disagreeing, but saying and doing nothing. Ultimately, still obedient. If that was true, I still wondered why Galoyas allowed it. He was happy enough to kill me at the mere thought I might pose a threat. It seemed mad, allowing dissenters to bide their time. All you need to do is share what may be the truth. Share what Dulier and Heron hope for. Arouse their interest, their faith that you can be an adequate catalyst. They can carry the intrigue throughout the forces that way.
Just arouse them, that should help.
Yeah, show them your titties.
Rebellions are built on titties.
The one.
You remember the siege of Troy?
Yeah. Oh my god. Oh, it's so true. The truth come out.
uh, it's 10 years, tens of thousands of lives.
Yep, all for some big old titties. Juan, you can even tell them you're skeptical yourself. Maybe that will even sell it better. No one likes a confident human. That explains a lot. That's a joke, right? Luckily, they don't have to like me.
Let's go with the last one.
Fortunately, I don't care if I'm well liked. That's usually a good attitude, though I'm not sure if it's a good attitude right now.
Given the audience, who could blame her?
When we entered the tower, elves were waiting for us. Whole swaths of elves were packed into the tiny place, most wearing helmets. Hallie whispered in my ear, amusement in her voice. An attempt futile at keeping anonymous.
Alright, geez, what voice to give this guy? The human here claims to have consumed the Cassenthal.
Let's look at the compendium, because we got new person, I think. No, not new person. Yeah, 3 generals. 3 generals. After the first elves arrived on Gahalia, Gahalian civilization took shape rapidly. This, despite the holes in their history, meant the start of the forces, established even before naming the first Gahalian king. The insignia of the 3 generals was a popular and favorite choice when Gahalia was deciding on its national heraldry. At the top, the head of a wyvern in its mouth. At the center, the sword of the Grand General, and to each side, the arms of the second and third. The wyverns were a curious addition. The Gahalians brought them to the island, and thus they were there from the beginning, no Gahalian quite realizing how terrifying the beasts were until they were first introduced in battle. The terror evoked early imagery from the Faetrier, who in their expressive nature would graffiti walls of cities they were abandoning, the skulls of their enemies, winged war beasts, a warning to their kin, or perhaps a message lost on the conqueror. The human's name is Alenka. It's a long story. Well met, all of you.
I'll go for the first one. I think that fits the best first stats.
Or Alenka, as I'm often called, though less often of late. She's a bit sensitive about that. Try to remember her name. I love her so much. The name whispered in my ear.
That is Commander Lycan.
I know. It showed up in the text box.
What the Onyx Chandler claims should not be taken for face value. He is a merchant after all, and nobody trusts a merchant. But our Grand General wants this human dead. This is why you've been summoned.
We don't know who's talking here. You think she has a kunal in her? Or I guess it's one of the random jabronis.
Yeah.
It's unclear.
It may be stranger than that. The very idea of the Cothental may frighten him. He can sense his grip over our minds beginning to falter, more and more beginning to question.
I felt eyes searching me, looking for any sign of the Cuthental on my... But is it true? Her eyes turned to me.
What is it true?
It's true, or I believe so, I don't know, or probably not. I'm gonna save.
What was the question exactly?
Basically, is it true? Like, do you have the Cuthental?
Oh, yeah. Then, yeah. Or I believe so, I guess. Because she did say that nobody likes a confident human, I guess.
Yeah. But I believe so, it kind of sounds more like... I don't remember this choice at all.
probably not is gonna end this conversation.
Yeah,
right?
I don't want probably not. I think probably I feel like we need to be very firm about this. We should say either it's true or I don't
Yeah.
know is what I was thinking because
Yeah, this is the whole basis of their interest in us.
yeah,
regarding, so.
like cuz she said it's
We need
maybe
to
even
tell them what
yeah.
might be true. I guess,
Yeah. And she said also being skeptical may be good. You know? Because that may intrigue them even more.
Right.
And I feel like I believe so isn't really being skeptical. And it's even less than saying it is true because then it's like, it's kind of wishy-washy. That's my thought on it. But I don't know.
Let's go with it's true then.
True?
Let's be confident about this. We can always back down a bit later.
Yes. Whatever the Cuthental is, it's in my blood.
She has been experiencing bizarre event after bizarre event. She wants our help. She needs our help.
Obviously, Alenka would prefer to avoid the Grand General's axe. In return, she's offering the Cuthental. He's offering the Cuthental, the head mighty rumor.
We have so much history to learn. If this is a key, how foolish would we be to overlook it? And even if you don't believe it's true, it means something to people, and...
Vidane, you're not helping! The Cuthental can scare the Grand General. There we go! There we go! Calipoa knowing what to say. Best girl. Commander Lycan's interests seem to be drawn, though by what exactly he's drawn by the scaring part. Why would he care about all the other stuff that Vidane mentioned? Like, that is all cool and all, but these people don't care about that.
Yeah. They care about how it benefits them.
Yeah, I heard Vidane give an uneasy sigh in my ear as he pulled me aside.
I don't know, Alenka. You'll have to pick an angle here. We have to just convince them that you're worth what you clearly are. That shouldn't be in question, but it is. It's such a sin.
Oh my god, it's so funny. Vidane is so hilarious.
Yeah. Obviously, you're a mighty hero, but they just need to see it.
Obviously, you're literally the most beautiful woman alive. They just gotta see it. The goddess of this land. Everyone should be under your foot. Can I be under your foot?
Turns out he just has a human kink.
Yeah. The Cuthental is a mighty symbol of our people, of our roots, our history. If that means nothing to you, it seems to mean something to Galois. And whatever it means to him, it's motivated him to kill her. Yeah, I'm just imagining, like, if this was, like, in a time where there could be streamers and Alenka's, like, a human streamer and Dane's like, oh, my queen.
Oh yeah, he'd definitely be in the chat donating his monthly salary. Perhaps merely because she sways his grandchildren.
I mean, that's still an angle, dude. But then again, this is the dude who also has been doing a quote-unquote rebellion for like 20 years. Or is it that we have never searched far into our past as though we have long been afraid of our shadow? The Hollians do not fear easily, certainly not the unknown. Only when it comes to our history, isn't that right? Are you afraid of history, friends? Are we content to know only what we are told? Can I just say, for a second, I thought that said nerds instead of friends for some reason. Are you afraid of history, nerds?
Nerd?
The helmet.
You should be afraid of history, nerds. Very scary.
The helmeted elves in the tower began talking amongst themselves. Watermelon, watermelon, watermelon. Mostly in their own language, but every now and then I pick up something I could understand. Watermelon, watermelon. They're saying watermelon. I could hear. I could feel Vidane beside me, tense and unsure, pulling against the strength and boldness of Kalipoa.
Oh no,
Kalipoa's.
in Elfish, watermelon means kill the human.
Aw, snap. Please to lead us. Would he have us cow to an enemy we're not to know we have? We have never hidden from danger. We fight hordes all the time. We die. Both Vidane and Kalipoa turned to look at me. It was my chance to say something.
Yeah, the top one seems the most, but it's also already been said.
Yeah.
The second one they're not gonna care about at all.
Yeah. Because I can't remember what the last option is. I can't remember if that's like, her explaining the weird things that have been happening.
I think so. That seems where it's going. Yeah, the first one seems like the right answer, but
yeah,
and
it also seems like her, her brash nature as well.
True. Let's go with that then.
Or is he afraid of what the Cuthental can do? But why else could he be afraid of the Cuthental?
And what is he trying to keep from us?
Are there secrets in the Cuthental's power, or is he afraid of us having our own minds? Lycan, who's been quiet and staring in an icy fashion, suddenly spoke up.
We are more than an extension of his will. It makes no sense. Are any of you afraid of this human, even if she has the Cuthental?
Nearly everyone in the room shook their head immediately. It was difficult to tell how many were swept up in the bravado or how many simply considered fearing me ridiculous. But either way, I found it a touch offensive.
It is grotesque how few of us dare to even question. He has gone unchallenged for so long. Many of us have been loyal to him since before we were born.
I can step back and... Yeah, that doesn't make any sense. I can step back and motion before. The elves stared at me in silence for only a second before the first question came.
But we must move carefully. We will not get mercy when we take our stand. We need to choose our steps carefully. So, tell me, is there any reason to fear you?
So we can
say... I think this is the part where we show doubt, like Caleb was suggested, I think.
Yeah. Like saying the Cuthental has changed me?
Go for the last one, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's also just true, right? So.
The Cuthental has begun to change me. If Galois wants me dead because he fears it is making me powerful, then he might have a good reason. I'm not sure what is happening, but something is happening. I know that much.
What does Dulier want with you?
I think it's this one.
Yeah, that's the one that's true, I think.
Yeah.
But we could also... I don't know how this guy...
I feel like if we... Dulier. Yeah. I feel like
if he doesn't like Dulier, then the first one is good.
Yeah. But at the...
Yeah.
What do you want to do?
That's a good question. It's like the honest person in me just wants to tell him what I think Dulier wants, or what he said he wants. But also, Julia is kind of suspicious, so it might be good to question his motives here.
They'll go with the first.
Yeah.
We can always reload, too.
Yeah, that's true.
That is something I would like to know myself. You're just a puppet, a fool lost in the dark. These people and their metaphors.
She's not a fool. Dulier does not explain why he does what he does. Everyone keeps her in the dark. She's not lost in it.
So she's helpless then.
That isn't what I said.
Kellypo.
She's my queen, and you will bow down to her.
Kellypo whispered in my ear. You need to entrance them, beguile them with the Cuthental. You're losing them.
What do you expect, Clipwa?
And how did you get the Cuthental?
To beguile them. Jeez, how do we do that? The second one sounds more that direction, I guess. I don't know. Might be more interesting than just a simple truth.
So you're saying the second one?
Yeah, but it also plays into the idea that we're just being played by him, so... Let's just go pirate, let's just be honest.
There were pirates that visited Edric, where I lived. One of them brought the Cuthental with him. It found its way into my hut, and my aunt put in a drink, which I drank unwittingly. I heard a few of the elves chuckle and scoff. How about a friendly game, human? Do you know how to hold a weapon? Yes, no, lie, yes, refuse to answer.
I mean, sure, yes. We've held a weapon before.
So this one?
Not really trained, but yeah. I think this is going to backfire horribly, but...
I do. It seemed obvious a challenge was coming.
This is not why we came here.
Well, unlike other Genia, I am not so eager to mark myself a traitor. I am not so quick to taking the shipped-in human's word for her power, Vidane. If the Grand General wants you dead, he must have a reason. And so, as we've always been taught, the greatest truths are found in combat. Now we put you to a test with a spar.
Sure. Let's do it. This is so stupid, but let's do
Fine.
it.
We'll have our spar. Fantastic. Are you sure about this, Alenka?
It's one way to awaken your hidden powers, right? Is put yourself in life and death situations.
Yep.
Alenka, you can't seriously be thinking about... He's going to try to hurt you, to prove a point, dominate the myth.
Look, I'd rather you stick to fighting with your tongue. I have some others you can meet. Vidane's little sisters are here, and they're healers. Do you know, if you get in a fight with them, at least they can patch you up afterwards. And influential in their way, they could be better than anyone at spreading word of you. Vidane nodded quickly. It was clear which of the options he preferred.
Let's get fucked up.
You're going for it?
Yeah. We do have good stats, so... Right. So let's try it.
Don't worry. I'll be fine. Alright.
We're definitely not fine.
I warned you. Did my part.
Alenka. This might be a reload situation,
Yeah.
but I just want to see if we can, for once.
Yeah. We moved out onto the docks under the open sky. This made most of the elves who'd been colluding within the tower nervous. Many kept looking over their shoulders.
There aren't any patrols right now.
This is reckless.
This is insane.
I glanced at Calipo, who was smiling while pacing, like she didn't know whether she was nervous or amused.
What's she doing? Just be quick about it.
I think we can manage that. Mind your edges, Kalez. You kill her, the Onyx Chandler will see you flayed.
Saneki Keles.
I was annoyed that I couldn't understand. He sounded like he had said something interesting. Though, that's assuming you lived through whatever she does to you. They'd given me a sword, which I held awkwardly. I'd never held a proper sword before. I gripped it tight, although clumsy, the weight felt good in my hand. My challenger took off his helmet, then glared out at me impatiently. Should have left it on. For one so young, you're quick gaining your scars. But he didn't pay her any attention. He was focused on me. Good, I thought. If I was going to defeat him, better a fool who was trying than a fool who didn't bother.
Begin.
The elf wasted no time. He lunged at me. Right away, I realized how much of a mistake this had been. However powerful I thought myself, Kalels had skill, training, and experience well beyond my own. Bitter as it was to accept, I was in over my head. We continued our exchange of lunges and dodges. He never closed the distance completely, just wary enough of me to ensure that he kept space to dodge himself. At least, there was that, I thought. Still, the dance was exhausting, and I was certain I looked ridiculous, and I was here to impress. Oh yeah, because I took his voice. That's fine.
Do you want me to take over?
Ready to call this a loss and go home. Nah, that's great. Taunt him, attack, or you win.
Let's taunt him, because he does seem to be very prideful. Might work.
Are you already preening? Is that all you had to show me? And I came here thinking I might be impressed. Where is the Kahalian might? The years of aggressive, relentless training. Hi, Owen. Welcome to the stream. We're probably about to die. Ayo!
That happens sometimes, right?
Are you even really Kahalian? Wow! She really went for it. She went for it. This is not like a taunt. This is like full-on insult. I heard Calipo snort from the audience. The elf across from me lost his grin. Prepare yourself. I grinned as he again rushed toward me, doing my best to appear in control. I wasn't any better at blocking or dodging this time, and his anger made him more vicious. He came shy of striking me, which seemed to count for a blow in this spar of ours, but maintaining my composure meant his victory was hollow. Calipo brought an end to the fight when it was clear I hadn't the energy to go on. My opponent's victorious grin returned. That was even worse, or you're lucky I went easy on you, or good job.
One of the top two, of course, but let's go for the second one. It's just funny.
But lucky for you, the Cuthatal didn't show itself. I was struggling to catch my breath. If you really had the Cuthatal, you'd use it. No, I wouldn't. I'm not prepared to kill you, just for being a fool. A fool can be redeemed. It's over. You won, Kalez. It's over. You won, Kalez. Surprising. We pushed our luck enough already. What has this proved? Nothing. There was no mysterious power, certainly no physical power.
I mean, we keep pushing. Like, part of me believes that if we push hard enough, something will actually happen. But, yeah. Let's try it.
I'm not done.
Yeah.
I glared at the elf, grinding my teeth down hard. Oh, I can take more. Is that so? Alenka, you're done. I'm fine, Commander Kalipoa.
Alenka, you don't have to prove anything this way.
Oh,
Ooh.
it's unlocked.
Oh, nice. Let's go for it.
Yes, I do. Back off. Oh, ho, ho, look at our eyes. They hesitated, but did as I said. Flo snorted.
Now to see if we unlock the ability to get ourselves killed.
Yeah. Ready when you are. His tone was insufferably boastful again. I ground my teeth down hard. Something in me was begging to be released. I let it out.
Going Super Saiyan.
Feliz was pushed backwards by a quick purple pulse. I heard
knew
gasps
it.
from beneath helmets all around me.
Are you alright?
Hearing something familiar, I turned to Vidane and nodded. I felt smug, even if I hadn't yet caught up to me why.
I don't need any more proof. You indeed hold the Cotton Toll, or at least something that very much appears like it. Need to think.
Yeah, and we need to disperse. That display might attract someone.
Agreed. Come on, Alenka.
I still hadn't completely come to terms with what had happened, but was happy to let Vidane lead me away.
Phew, I'm glad that worked out.
Strange. There was no immediate danger today, but I haven't felt this tense in ages. I'm gonna show something. If this did what I thought. Yeah. See this?
Grip, yeah.
So,
that's
this
your
is...
control over the...
Yeah, our
the
control over the
Cotton
Toll. As we use it and stuff, this is gonna go up, and that's not necessarily a good thing. But yeah, so...
Lovely.
There we go.
You? Oh, trust me, Callie. Between the three of us, you are going to be the last one they turned on. You're going to be the last one they turned on.
What about me? Thank you for your help, Calipoa, or there's a lot at stake.
Yeah, let's pretend she's a romance option and say thanks.
I appreciate this, I hope you know. I guessed. And you two, Vidane, are still, it's worth saying.
Let's ignore for that.
Yeah, still, it's worth saying. Still, gratitude should be expressed, especially given the circumstances.
Oh, so mean.
But as for what happened today, I don't think it could have gone better than it was. They could stop talking about you. Yeah. But yeah, one of the interesting things about this is, in any of the, well, I wouldn't say any, but most of these events can usually be beaten in several different ways depending on your stats. And we just beat this one by going the brash route because we had the brash stats. There was other ways that it could have been done. Like, as I said, I went into it with high charm and whatnot, so I just charmed everybody. I didn't fight anybody.
Oh, nice. That's cool.
And I basically got the same result here. So I think we did it. Nice. So, heck yeah. You did it, Rolf. Let's go!
Did you also use the Cothenthal then?
No, I didn't use the Cothental. It was just like, I just talked to everybody until they believed me. And I met with the sisters.
Okay. Instead
of having the fight, I met with the sisters. And everyone was like, yeah, we like Alenka. Let's go. Well, I guess it was, well, we all like Anya because I named myself.
That's fun that we chose the same path but went about it very differently.
Yeah, that's what as I said, that's one of the things I like about this game is, I mentioned before that if this was a Japanese otome game, you would have to go down certain choices to get a good ending or whatever. Whereas in this, you can beat the game going down multiple different pathways, and it'll work out. Because it's more like as someone pointed out, it's more like tabletop RPG-esque or like D&D-esque or whatever, where it's like
Mm-hmm.
you make your character and then you have dice rolls, and that, like, depending on like your skill checks and whatnot, like that'll determine whether you succeed rather than making particular choices. But,
Yeah.
yeah.
I was surprised at how easy you made it look. You're a natural politician.
I don't know about that, or if I want that.
Being a natural politician means just when you lose an argument, challenge someone to a fight.
Heck yeah. The cathedral has done what it needed to. Good. I took a deep breath. Yes, very good.
Which country is that? Like Taiwan or something, or Thailand? It's where they, like, quite often just politics just descend into brawls, like in the parliament, which is
Heck
pretty
yeah.
funny.
I honestly, I wish that would be how it happens.
Yeah, if just talking isn't leading anywhere anymore, then just start throwing hands.
Just start throwing hands. I would absolutely be for that. There's a lot of politicians I would absolutely just send a fist to. And, you know, it might stop, like, some people from going into politics, because then they would have to deal with getting beat up.
Who definitely get the population a lot more interested in watching debates.
Yeah.
They could devolve into a fist fight at any moment.
Yeah. This, you know, we've got it. This is the way things should be.
Dulier will be pleased. Maybe you'll get a good night's rest.
Maybe. She bid me farewell after she walked me to Dulier's manor. It was time to
The
bear
way he
his
says that
questions.
is like as if Dulier controls whether or not we have a good night, good rest. We're only getting one because he's pleased.
Yeah. Then maybe get some rest. It took 3 days. 3 days of maddening silence before I heard anything from either Calipoa or Vidane. Dulier took it almost as badly as I did, pacing incessantly and trying again and again to get a word to or from either of them. I got the impression that Vidane, at least, was not usually this difficult to get a hold of, especially not for a man like Dulier.
They've been executed already.
Oh no!
We don't have much time left, Alenka. We have to think of alternatives. It might be time to put you on a boat. I don't know why, just, on a boat and then
Yeah,
just
if
set
you
adrift,
maybe if you're not on land, that'll change things.
Yeah. And try your luck with that.
Dulier?
What?
His voice was cutting, and for a moment I almost felt bad for
Oh.
Skylar.
What?
Vidane. Oh my god. I do declare Vidane, he's here. I almost had Calipoa's voice for a second, I'm sorry. I was possessed by her spirit for a second. When Vidane came in, he wore a smile that put me at instant ease.
Where have you been? Lycan has agreed. You are amazing. Callie said you did just about everything right. Lycan couldn't help but agree with all the pressure he was under from his supporters. I still can't quite believe it. But Lycan finally, publicly, he and a dozen others demanded an answer from my grandfather in the middle of Kature Nyan. Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay, just forget that. That's a meeting out in the training fields with hundreds of soldiers present. Alenka, he was asking.
Vidane paused, a smile spreading over his face. He briefly put his hand to his mouth like he was holding back a chuckle.
He said, "What do you fear from the human claim to have the Cuthenthal that you would groundlessly put her to death?" Here, Dulier.
Vidane passed a note to Dulier, who read it over quickly. Then a wide grin spread over Dulier's face.
He's staying the execution.
Vidane nodded quickly.
Yes, he's denying that we. Oh, jeez. I'm stumbling over my words today. Yes, he's denying that he ever ordered your death. Saving face.
Oh, speaking of getting caught out and something and doubling down, like, what are you talking about? I never said any of that.
I would never do anything like that.
It's like, shut up.
I love humans.
Yeah, I love humans.
One of my best friends is a human.
Oh my god! That's too real. That's too real. Oh god. I now wish that this was he was like, yeah, here's my human friend Paul. I would never hurt a human. And it was like this terrified man in the corner like, oh. Oh, that Paul.
Oh no. I can't be a sexist. I have a mother.
Oh my god, it's too real. So really, thank you, good few.
Say good.
Good, he'd better. Dulier snorted, looking very pleased.
Oh, and look at that. It's time to do. It also says you're due in the castle tomorrow for an introduction.
Honestly, Dulier really reminds me of Pegasus, so he basically is Maximilian Pegasus over here.
In the meantime, while we were waiting, I invented this new card game.
Heck yeah. Vidane sighed.
My grandfather rarely accepts defeat. I would assume if he can't kill you, he'll put you on a leash. I'm a freak on a leash. Try to, anyway. You're right, Alenka.
A lot to take in? Yes, Vidane, thank you. Not really.
Let's just say a lot to take in.
Okie doke. I like how we're just absolutely cucking this man so hard.
Never saying thank you to him ever.
Yeah. It's just a lot. Yeah, we're going around saying thank you to literally everybody else that we ever meet. Like, we said thank you to this one random person I remember at one point earlier in this playthrough that only appeared for like one scene, I think, and we said thank you to them, but we just never say thank you to Vidane.
Just taking it from granted already. Oh,
it's just a lot. But it's good to hear my execution was never ordered.
Yes, I know. Things are moving fast now. He didn't give you much time to prepare. That wouldn't suit him at all, though, would it? You wouldn't get the satisfaction of keeping us on our toes. But it is fine. We are ahead of the game now.
Yule passed his smile to me. What?
Get some rest. Yeah. Here, there you go. You can have it.
You can
it's
have
a family heirloom.
Legit.
Get some rest. A busy day is on the horizon.
The morning I was to be introduced to Gahalia as the woman bearing Cuthental came faster than seemed at all fair. No rest to be found, no escape from danger. If I was to believe I had truly escaped death, my body seemed unconvinced. I'd not been able to sleep. My muscles remained tense, my chest tight. A surge of confusing and conflicting emotions combated within me. A part of me considered that the summons could have been an execution as well. He, so enraged by our efforts against him, had decided to put an end to me publicly. I'd been assured Galois was place-sated, but it was difficult to rest easy. It was true, certainly, that I had no choice today. I'd have to go and agree to whatever he demanded. I wonder what my life would cost me.
Alenka! Alenka, are you ready?
Oh, I just noticed this portrait up here. Because normally when we're in this room, it's like kind of dark. But
Yeah.
now that there is a bit of
It's a
light
pretty
coming
creepy
in
portrait.
here. Yeah.
It's like some sea creature rising up from the depths to take your soul.
Yeah. Exactly. Oh, look! Look,
First image.
the bed has like these this cool lace at the bottom.
Ooh.
Ooh.
So roughly.
Yeah. This is nice.
Mm-hmm.
Is that a joke?
Yeah, say it. It's too funny.
That's a sick joke. I heard him sigh from behind the door.
Ready or not, as they say. I
Then
don't know who
nothing
they
changed.
are, but... And yet we've stayed on the side of fortune all along. There are choices everywhere, darling. Ugh.
Ugh.
Don't call it that.
Yeah, the door opened.
Let's go, Alenka. To the
Let's
great
go.
beyond. Oh god, more new people.
Yeah.
Then I'll wait to see what he looks like before I give him a voice. Are you
Okay.
ready?
I found myself in what looked to be a study. A shiver ran down my back when I realized this was probably Galoy's inner sanctum, and what it felt then to be in the heart of my enemy solidified my entire situation. Galoy himself was nowhere to be seen, though I clearly heard him when I came in. I found myself searching the shadows of the room desperately. Another command came, impatient, booing from outside an open door.
Come, this will be fast.
As I drew close to the door, a balcony lay before me. Below, I saw dozens of soldiers in attendance, and I felt the gaze of each twice over. Galoy stood beside me, the weight of his presence equally oppressive.
Gahalia, beside me is a human, and it is possible she has consumed the Cothintal. I have acknowledged only that this is a possibility. There is no compelling proof. Her presence among you will determine whether these claims are valid. If true, the Cothintal, ours, will be studied, exploited, and contained as necessary. Be aware of her as she walks among you, and aware of what she may be. If there is truth in this claim, she is dangerous, unpredictable. You have been made aware. Shut up, heads.
Watched the elves below me begin to disperse. I caught the briefest glimpse of a familiar group. Kalipoa, Vidane, Lasega, Heron, and Ernal, or so I thought.
It is done.
Fast. That was a little aggressive. Thank you, say nothing.
Let's go with the second one.
It sounded like you were trying to provoke them into attacking me.
If they do, it is in self-defense. Come.
Upon re-entering the study... Yeah, we met her,
the
though,
pink hair
remember?
guy, yeah, no, yeah. Oh, right. Pink hair guy as well, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, we met pink hair guy as well. The only guy we haven't met is this dude.
Don't remember his voice, though, but oh well.
Upon re-entering the study, I found 3 new elves who hadn't been there before. They looked vaguely familiar.
Introduce yourselves. That's an order!
Galois had poised himself far in the corner of the room, angry, uncomfortable, perhaps even brooding. Perhaps it was all getting to my head, something about seeing all those elves below me. I was finally starting to believe I'd won. Okay.
Pretty sure it's the woman.
Yeah, it's her. Saffron Leia. I don't remember what voice I gave her as well.
Me neither, honestly.
Oh wait, yeah, now I remember. Saffron Leia, Forest Scout.
That's true. Channeler Masaros, 4th Scout. Imre Longrest, 4th Scout. I don't know which one is which.
Yeah.
I think Imre was the pink hair guy.
Yeah.
They are yours to exploit. Begin training immediately.
All right, excuse me, what? You were all aboard the Bastion, weren't you?
Let's pretend that we're not overwhelmed.
Yeah.
Let's go to the last one.
Last one. You three were all aboard the Bastion, right? The three of them all glanced uncertainly at Galois, as if uncertain how to respond. Galois scoffed.
Focus on the matter at hand. You need only concern yourself with your training and containing whatever threat you pose to my people.
Galois waved at the study exit.
Leave. Such a friendly man.
Yeah. Once the four of us were in the hallway, they began moving down the hall, only stopping when they realized I wasn't going along with them. You three were aboard the Bastion, weren't you? I'm Alenka, nice to meet you. What will my training entail exactly?
Yeah, let's demand some answers. We're not gonna let them get away with not answering the question.
Yeah, so this one?
Yeah.
Answer me. This time the two men deferred their uncertain glances to the woman. He hesitated a moment before pursuing her lips and nodding.
Oh, it's an Akure.
Yep.
There you are. The castle alight with this confirmed revelation.
Saffron Channer and Irmray's mood seemed to sour. What do you want, Akare? A bemused look took over his face as he regarded Saffron, and then to me his smile widened.
I look forward to the party this evening.
The party?
Oh yes, I just heard about it myself. I'm sure you'll be rushing home to prepare. What party? Oh, out of the loop are we? Pitiable fourth scouts are we? Well, the Onyx Chandler is sure to keep the guest list somewhat prestigious. My sympathies. You better get on your way, Alenka.
I was confused as well. She's beginning her training.
Oh, it can wait until tomorrow, at least. Alenka, my lady sends her congratulations. She won't be able to attend tonight, but I am, in her stead. It has fallen on me to act as her eyes, and I find myself eager to witness your power. You don't mind, do you? You three, I'm sure you can find some way to busy yourselves in the meantime.
The scouts weren't happy, but an unspoken rule compelled them to bow out with only a promise of beginning my training the following day. That Ikare had any pull over them made me nervous. If he was going to be keeping an eye on me, I determined to be keeping one on him in return.
Alenka, back already?
I heard something about a celebration.
Ah, yes. Word travels. Faster than anticipated, even. I hope you're not upset.
I'll reserve judgment until it's better explained.
Galois is this typically disingenuous manner, in his typically disingenuous manner, has introduced you, but only to select members of the forces. News wasn't to be contained, of course. Even denied from seeing it firsthand, the city is alight with word of you, more than ever before. It was one thing before, just a rumor. Now, confirmed, real and walking. What Calois did was deny those outside his control a close look, and the broader we spread your influence, the stronger your connections within Galia.
I get the feeling you had something to do with that news spreading. Julia only smiled at me, but I knew what that meant.
Come to judgment yet?
What am I expected to do? I'm not much of a party person, or I don't like surprises, Julie.
Don't think we're much of a party person, really.
Yeah, so this one?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not much for parties.
Ah, then you needn't stay long. I can build you up well enough on my own. Just come down for a little while. That is all I ask. With any luck, you'll even enjoy yourself. Where did you hear about the party?
Ikare. He intercepted my scout's intentions and freed my schedule up. Convenient, isn't it? I frowned. The lawyers assigned 3 scouts to me. They're going to train me, but his phrasing seemed to suggest they were more at my command than the other way around. Is that odd? Juliet shook his head.
No. I'll have to ask Ernol about it. Confirm some of my suspicions on the matter. I'll let you know.
Please do. He took a deep breath as his face relaxed.
I hope you enjoy tonight, Lenka. We're not free of entanglements, true, but we're past mere survival. We have begun to conquer.
Yay! The party had the
Yay.
relaxed atmosphere Juliet promised. Yeah! Just lights flashing and it's like, wow.
Damn, elves party hard.
It came as a relief as he'd hoped. I wasn't sure if I welcomed it, but I found myself relaxing. While the elves in the room weren't few in number, the room wasn't packed. This also came as something of a relief, though it brought about suspicions of its own. Julia had, after all, made it seem like a great many were eager to see me, to see the Cuthental at least, and yet I had only caught a few curious stares, and they typically didn't linger. It was all very polite. The whole gentility of it was something I'd become very unused to since my time in Gahalia. As Julia had said, it seemed like I was transcending mere survival. I wasn't sure if I needed to chase such thoughts from my mind, any comfort a danger. Was I truly any safer now than the first day I drank the Cuthental? How wise was I to entertain vanities and arrogance? With an exhale, I breathed in the music, the smell of wine, the gentle laughter, and took a look around. Lacey was in attendance to my surprise, as well as Vidane. Juliet was in a conversation with a guest I didn't recognize who seemed, well, livid. Juliet enjoyed tension, I decided. Erno was standing near his brother, Heron, laughing. Skylar was brooding, and I found myself a little bit perplexed and wondering if this was her usual party demeanor. Ikare loomed about, at least. I caught a glimpse of him early on, though I couldn't see where he was at the moment. Juliet promised to throw him out once the party was over, promptly. Commander Kalipoa spoke loudly enough that I could hear her from across the room, though her words were in the Kahalian tongue. I gathered from her tone that she'd been telling a joke. Chat with someone friendly, find someone comfortable to sit, antagonize someone.
Just instantly antagonizing someone. Let's start out nice.
Okie
Chat
doke.
with someone friendly.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and save.
Just walk into the party and just walk up to someone you don't like.
Yeah.
Hey, fuck you.
So I ventured forward. So basically what all of these do is these help us talk to the various people, these different choices. So I think we have a chance to do basically everything in here, but we'll see. From what
Let's
I
start
remember.
with Heron. We haven't seen him in a bit.
Heck yeah.
And he's fun to play.
Heron was grinning when he pulled me away from the others. His eyes were bright and dancing, so happy that you would think he was the one who had escaped death. I take it you're enjoying yourself?
Yes. You're amazing, Madrele.
I laughed at the sincerity in his voice. However much I distrusted these elves, Heron's appreciation of me, at least certain parts of me, I never doubted.
We didn't even get a party dress for this.
Yeah. But don't trust me, we will get a new outfit soon. Very soon.
Alright, good. And the beauty of it all, the most surprising and indeed the most extraordinary thing, it wasn't the Cuthental at all. It's almost as if...
He stared at me, lost for words, face speaking volumes.
Oh, I don't know what I'm saying. I simply think you're wonderful. Madrele.
I exhaled a breath I hadn't realized I'd been holding. I'd never known anyone nearly so complimentary, so unabashedly adoring, and I wasn't quite sure how I wanted to handle him.
It's so funny, because, like, Verdane is just as complimentary, but because he's so like
Yeah, he's so like, oh my
insecure about
yeah,
it,
he's
it's
so
like,
insecure. Whereas Heron's like, yeah, like he just
he's doing
throws
the
it out
same but
there.
with confidence.
Yeah.
Being direct.
Yeah. You and that word, or you think I'm amazing, I understand. Or how much have you had to drink, Heron?
Let's go with the last one.
The last one?
Yeah.
Heron, have you been drinking?
A little. Oh, do I seem... Sorry. It's more this sort of atmosphere. Always got away with me.
So you're not drunk?
I don't think so. And you managed to convince Commander Lycan to come out of his shadow? You see what I mean when I call you Madrelay. Things are drawn to the light, even weak aliens, united by something worth uniting for. That you shine as you do with all this will and resilience of yours, that face of yours.
I laughed. I was amused, flustered, flattered, annoyed.
Hmm. This is fun. Not often the game lets you choose how your character feels.
Yeah.
Sure, let's go flattered. Why not?
I grinned at him, assuming something of a coy posture. I can't say I mind having someone so adoring on hand.
Well, I can't say that I mind the Cuthenthal chose such a beautiful woman.
There's a little more to me than that, you know.
As I hope to find, Madrelay. Enjoy your celebration.
Okay, so as I said, we go through all of this, so let's keep going through.
Yeah, let's throw Verdane a bone.
Verdane was
It's funny, especially after just talking to Heron.
Yeah. Verdane was talking with a pair of twins. The closer I got, I realized the twins also looked a great deal like Verdane. I guess at first they were siblings, but recalling how strange elves age, they could have been anyone to him. Daughters, even. Hello, Verdane.
Oh, it's good to see you, Alenka. I actually saw the Grand General's introduction firsthand. I couldn't believe my eyes.
The twins looked between me and Verdane twice before settling their gaze on him with expectation. I found myself smiling awkwardly. Verdane, aren't you going to introduce us?
So... Amazing. It's not the voice I expected to come out. Oh, sorry. Alenka, these are my sisters. Quinn Villadelle and Lasagna.
Oh, sisters. I was wondering if they were your daughters. Why would you say that out loud?
Oh, how terrifying.
We're not nearly tender-hearted enough for that. You must have a big family. Your relatives are everywhere. Our extended family, yes. But Verdane, my twin, and our little sister are all here there is of us, siblings. None of us have had children of our own yet. A very small family for an elf. Really? Because to hear Lacey say it... Verdane snorted and shook his head.
He'll say whatever suits him. It doesn't need to be true.
Are you two both scouts as well? No, we're healers! These are the two sisters we would have met during that scene, by the way.
In training. Healers in training.
We've nearly completed our training. Younger sisters, then? The twins nodded. So 3 little sisters, Vidane? Mm-hmm, sounds about right.
What's that supposed to mean?
He does give off that older brother vibes.
What? Yeah, well, I already said it.
Mm-hmm. I shrugged innocently.
Well, I wouldn't suggest your troubles are all behind you, but you've come a long way. I'm very impressed.
We are as well. Vidane's mentioned the perils of your situation. I'm excited to learn more about the Cathedral. If you find yourself wanting the opinions of healers, we'd be glad to assist. I caught sight of Vidane rolling his eyes.
Anyway, Alenka, how are you feeling?
Isn't that just like him? I'm not sure I've got a full grasp on the situation yet, but relieved, I guess. Because he does, in every single scene we're with him, he asks us how we're doing. All 3 nodded.
Hive mind.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, of course. Anyone would be. Like I said, still not out of the fire, but I guess the odds have shifted. Though I'm certainly not clever enough to tell any more than that.
Maybe we could help. Study your body.
Alenka, come look at this painting.
They're like, ooh, we want to see those titties.
Need to check if they're the same as elf titties.
I followed him, fully aware he was simply fleeing his sisters, who also seemed fully aware of the fact.
I'm so sorry about them.
Why? They're wonderful. Don't worry. Nosy family, huh?
Say they're wonderful, because it's just gonna make it more awkward for him.
They're wonderful.
Oh, you can't be serious.
You're lucky to have such charming sisters. Twins at that.
Twins they were. That the twins doesn't make them any more charming, believe me. Listen, I wanted to tell you, well...
I'm glad it all worked out, Vidane.
This a long time.
I love that I just cut through you. You're trying to say
It's
something
perfect,
and I'm
yeah.
like, I'm glad it all worked out, Vidane.
Yeah.
Yeah, exhale
Were you trying to say
sharply.
something? Oh no, never mind.
Surprised like I'd stolen the words from him.
Very glad, Alenka. It felt so hopeless for a little while. I was certain I was only leading you towards disaster. Maybe I needed a little more faith. Oh, don't worry, you weren't leading me at all.
Too real.
It's a party, though, and in Dulier's house, where I'm confident he frowns on dueling, so...
It's a party and I'll cry if I want to.
And I'll duel if I want. Congratulations, Alenka. Justice may be found in Galia after all.
And then you just
Gee,
left. Time to talk to Calipoa. Commander! Alenka! Just like running at each other like big hug!
Dun 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 dun.
Da 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 da! She was standing next to another
Slow
elf
motion
who
going.
looked considerably less at ease than she. We met this man, Commander Lycan.
Alenka,
Thank you, Commander, for everything. He nodded.
you fit into plans nicely. I'm glad your life was spared, but there were even more important things at work.
All agenda all the time. Lycan, relax a little. You stay cold and rigid all the time. You crumble like a baby the first time someone tickles your toes.
That sounds more likely to happen to some of us than more than others, Kalipua.
She snorted, passing her grin to me, looking a little disappointed that neither Lycan nor I were laughing. I'm proud of you, Alenka. You are? Yes, I'll tell you. I saw another human called to his office before, and he fainted a step in the door. You thought I would faint? Not really, but I thought it enough of a possibility to place a small bet on it. I stared at her. In jest!
Her sense of humor leaves a lot to be desired.
I love her. I think she's great.
Yeah, she's my favorite.
Yeah, she is literally like the best. That's why I said even before we met her, I was like, you're gonna be so sad that she's not a romance option.
Yep.
Like, I always feel sad in almost every single one of these games because they always have like a really good like female sidekick character. But this is like one of those games where I'm like, absolutely, I really wish she was around.
Yeah, like from the very first interaction, she almost seemed like flirty with her as well. So it's like, come on, man.
Yeah.
It's so obvious.
Yeah, and she's just such an interesting character. She's so well fleshed out and everything, and yet she's still regulated to side character, which is sad. I'm glad I lost the bet, Alenka. I'll tell you who else is at that. Vidane. If I'd let you get killed after all this, well, it would have been less cruel to give him a sick kitten back on the Bastion. Dulier is also thankful. I can call him Dulier now, the Onyx Chandler. Did you notice that?
I'm going elsewhere, Calipua.
Lycan! She scoffed. I'm glad you're still with us, Alenka. It's been fun watching all the chaos around you. Nothing's ever fun when it stays the same, I agree. If you say so, are you drunk?
Just ask everyone if they're drunk. No. Let's say I agree.
I agree. Well said. She nodded in satisfaction. When you've mastered your mysterious power, you and me, we should go on an adventure.
We should go on a date.
Yeah!
Nope,
If only!
So close.
An adventure? Is this not an adventure? More for you than me. How about down south, find some of the big dragons? The big? You haven't heard of them? Dragons the size of mountains. Better to leave it all a surprise for them when we go. You Gahalians sure like to tease with information. Don't worry, we have a compendium. Pillar dragons. It was hubris to believe our wyverns the mightiest lizards of the sky. I know, but still, I find it difficult to accept what I've seen. This is the very reason I volunteered for this assignment. The dragons have stewards that look almost like us. Their ears come to a point more elven than human. But aside from physical similarities, I do not believe we have much in common. I mentioned the stewards when interest is no doubt primarily in the dragons. As the stewards are one's path to the dragons, assessing one even just to witness is a language process chock full with peril and unnecessary ceremony. Wonder why such beasts are so cowardly when little could threaten them. The dragon I saw flying east into the mountains was a rarity, I've been told. I'm trying to arrange a proper meeting with the only steward who will speak with me, even if I use the term speaking loosely. It's difficult to tell if I've made any progress, but I am determined. Why haven't we sent Relico to her old friends? She really couldn't offer any more explanation. The stewards are keeping secrets, and I would be a fool not to see similarities to how we keep secrets of our wyverns. Scout Uendrasi's second Agora Dragon report. Go on, I shouldn't keep you. Besides, I'm going to get into a little mischief, and you're too dangerous to have around with that Cuthental of yours. He's great.
Gonna take a quick toilet break. I'll be right back.
Okie doke. How's everyone doing? I hope you're all doing well. Let's see our stats real quick. Okay, our daring and might are definitely our top stats, but our tenacity, curiosity, and cunning are pretty high too. Charity is pretty high. Our grip has gone a bit higher, which is something. I can't wait till we get the other outfits. Be happening sometime soon, hopefully. We'll get at least one. I should save. I haven't saved in a while. Here we go. But yeah, be going through talking to everybody, and then I think the next part of the game is we're gonna go to like do some shopping, and so then we'll finally be able to get an outfit, which will be great. And then once that happens, then we'll be on to the next part, which will, at least I think, yeah, I think it's like we go shopping, a thing happens, then we get back on the boat and stuff happens there, and then we start getting towards stuff, because I think that's when the climb.
Hello.
Hello! Welcome back.
So I do have to head off soon because
Yeah.
I do need to be well rested for work tomorrow.
Okie doke, no worries. We can finish this scene, I guess, and then
Sure.
call it after that. So we're done talking to everyone. So antagonize someone.
Sure.
So we got Lacey, Skylar, and Ernal.
Let's just go down the list.
Heck yeah, so Lacey. Naturally, I ventured toward Lacey. A certain smugness welled in me as I traversed the room toward him. He caught sight of me about halfway through and stared back at me with a trepidatious look like he knew he was about to suffer my gloating.
Alenka,
Is that all you have to say?
am I supposed to have something to say?
I suppose not, only I remember of a few instances where you suggested quite certainly that I would soon meet my demise. And here I am, having defeated your Grand General, defied your expectations, won the affection of Gahalia.
None of these are really true, but let's say defeated your Grand General because it's the most ridiculous post.
Yeah. Bested the efforts of your Grand General. Lacey broke into laughter.
Ha.
Yeah, that's him breaking out into laughter.
Is that what you think you've done?
Yes, it seems quite evident it's exactly what I've done.
Then do say that a little louder. The more who hear you, the more likely it is to reach his ears. But you've nothing to fear if that happens, don't you? Humans and their arrogance. It is genuinely astounding.
Coming from you.
Yeah. Yes, Rabbit, coming from me.
So he was attempting to be smug now. We grinned at one another, like both of us measuring the benefits and pitfalls of various attacks against the other's ego and pride. Attributed to the abundance of the attributed to the ambience of the party, but we both seemed to shrug it off after our little impasse brought no further remark.
Did you have fun exploring the undercurrents of my city with Verdane and his commander, Cousin Nurse?
The funnest part was avoiding execution. He snorted.
Proving quite a little catalyst, aren't you? Such talk of discovery on the wind.
He scoffed.
60 years ago, the Child King of Lalarios being paraded about as the harbinger of peace. And people put their faith in it. They bet their livelihoods, danced in the streets, adorned their caps with feathers, all in a child.
I see. You're calling me a child.
I was thinking that you will have a certain advantage. You appear a lie, But if you're not, you can catch them when they're not looking.
Are you starting to respect me, Lacey? He scoffed again.
Thinking what I would do in your shoes. So tsundere.
Yeah, he really is.
He even has a cute pet name for us.
Yeah.
Well, rabbit, you live another day.
I'll live longer than you, most likely. He grinned and inclined his head.
We'll see. Thank you for coming, Alenka.
The voice from behind came as a surprise, startling me. I spun around and gave him an unimpressed look. Nevertheless, his pleasant composure persisted. I looked past him at the elf he'd been talking to and found him staring at us with an annoyed expression. What did you say to him? Juliet turned to look behind him briefly, turning his gaze and smiled to me afterwards.
Nothing at all. I was a touch rude, I suppose, but it is my house, and thus those little luxuries afforded to me. If there's anyone you wish to be introduced to, let me know. Many would be thrilled to have a chance to speak with you. Those who would not will instead thrill me as they squirm. You looked refreshed. It is heartening to see. From here on out, darling, we are making decisions from a position of power. You are no longer hidden.
He took my hand before I had a chance to protest and lifted it in the air.
May we be bold.
The chorus of elves shouting, Jolly! The second time in 2 days, a bunch of elves shouted a word I didn't know at me. Nevertheless, I had a feeling I could agree with the sentiment. I was going to let myself relax. Even if this sense of victory was a lie, I was determined to enjoying whatever I could. Oh! I thought we had time for everything, but I guess not. Well,
Yes, not.
oh well, that's fine. We talked to enough people.
Suddenly a month has passed.
Yeah, I've been training with my team for a month. There we go. Let's save then.
Yeah. All right.
And call it. I thought we had a lot more time, but I guess not. That was very interesting.
Yes.
Oh, maybe it was because we said we can't handle parties? I don't know. Because I feel like I remember talking to everybody, but...
Maybe that's it, yeah.
Yeah.
I ruined it.
No! We talked to a good amount of people. It's okay. But yeah, thanks for joining again.
Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me, as usual.
Yeah. It's always a good time. And we're getting closer and closer to climactic stuff, so that'll be exciting.
Yeah, I'm really liking this game so far.
Yeah, it's really good. There's a reason I consider it one of my top favorite visual novels. I love it a lot.
Put it in more lists.
Yeah, I have put it in a couple lists, but I definitely would love to put it in more. But yeah, it's definitely one of my favorites. And what's even better is it's free too. So
Yeah.
it's like you get all this stuff and it's really well done and it's all free. I'm like, that's shocking. Like, this game is better than some games that force you to pay $20 for or more.
Yes, in this day and age, it's a rarity. People make something this good just out of passion.
Yeah, it's true. But yeah, I'm glad you're enjoying it though.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. But yeah, get some rest. Thanks for hanging out as always. I love you very
See
much,
you next
Rolf.
time.
See you later. Have a good night.
Bye-bye.
Bye. So let us see who's live. Usually a lot of people are live on Mondays, like Saturdays or whatever. You know, let's raid Kimmy, because Kimmy's live and playing Cult of the Lamb, which is a game that I do want to play at some point. So, let us raid Kimmy. Gimme Kims. Let's go. But yeah, thank you guys so much for joining. I love each and every one of you so much. Thank you guys. Thank you for the raid. Thank you for the follows and everything. I'll see you guys on Saturday for more VN night stuff. I already sent the poll, which was awesome. So we'll see what wins the poll. Probably Wolf and Zach playing Code Vein, which will be interessante. And then I'll see you guys for more of this next Monday. But yeah, thank you guys all so much for joining. I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye!